Alright, this is Pat Milkey, and I just want to go over and summarize what we discussed last week. And then I also want to introduce you to what you're going to be learning about this in week 3. I would also like to respond to the one question at the end of the exit survey, so that's usually how I will do that for the exit surveys. So what you learned about last week was a variety of employment laws. This is such an important area since these laws can have a profound impact on businesses, whether they're big or small. There is also a lot of information, I realize, but all of it is important. I really did not know what to keep or not keep out of the chapter, so that is why I had you read all of it, just so you're aware of the different laws and their impacts. When we start the simulation in a couple of weeks, you will begin to understand the impact of some of these laws because they will start to discuss them, and some will be part of incidents that will take place within the simulation. Also, in week 3, you will begin to talk about job descriptions and job analysis, and you will be able to see how they have an impact on who you will hire, and also so that you do not violate any laws when you are hiring someone. I was really impressed with the cases that you put out on the discussion board and your responses to others. I think it is still crazy to think females are being paid significantly less than their male counterparts. Thanks, Misty, for bringing that up. It was interesting also that big companies like AT&T, Dollar Store, and Walmart continue to be found guilty of the Pregnancy Discrimination Act of 1978. Thanks, Jade, Joanna, and Ann for bringing those up. If you did not get a chance to read all the different cases, I would highly recommend that you do, since this serves as a reminder that this is super relevant information for you to know if you plan to own a business or work for a business. The bottom line is you cannot treat people differently. There are several of you who also picked age discrimination, and I feel this is huge as well since we have such a large population group, the baby boomers, that are falling into this category. I found it really interesting about Texas Roadhouse and Sessions 52 restaurant and how they wanted only younger, under 40 people working in certain positions, especially like up front in the waiters and waitresses. This is something you simply cannot do, but as you can see, it still continues to occur. It is great to know also that a couple of your classmates have had experience in the field of HR, so when you are selecting groups to be in for the simulation in week 4, you may want to consider having them in your group or being in their group. Make sure you listen to Lori Olson's video if you have not already done so, since she brings it all together for you and shares some landmark cases. The importance of these laws is to be aware of what you can and cannot do. I know one time at an organization I was working for, I was helping on an interview committee, and the lead on the committee started asking the interviewee on whether or not they were planning on having children. If I could have reached him, I would have kicked him under the table so he would stop. Fortunately, the person interviewing did not recognize that this was an illegal question and nothing came of it, but it easily could have. So remember, if something does not feel or seem right, always check it out so you know you or your organization do not get into trouble. Week 3, we look at job analysis. A job analysis is when an organization looks and they see this is what they are going to be doing here at the company and what exactly is going to be happening for each particular position, so that they are able to hire the right person for that job. For example, say you are a call center and you need a job analysis for a customer service representative position. You are going to look at everything that that person has to do and you're going to list that all down to make sure that you identify everything that needs to be accomplished. It is foundational for all of the HR activities and leads into different functions within the HR area. That is where the simulation comes into play as well. You will be making HR decisions on staffing, training and development, compensation, performance appraisals, safety and health, employee and labor relations, and also have to be thinking about the legal considerations as you make these decisions. That is why I like you to have this information from week 2 and 3 prior to starting the simulation. I feel it provides you with a bit of a foundation to build upon. A direct result of a job analysis is the job description. This should be developed after that job analysis is complete. This will help with ensuring that specific skills, knowledge, and abilities are listed. This information is put out when you are hiring for that position. Go ahead and look at some job announcements to see if you can find a job description that job description and think about how it was probably developed. You also need to be sure you do not hire someone just because they are liked or are friends with someone. Rather, you have to ensure that you are hiring a person that has a majority of the skills, knowledge, and abilities listed in the job description. If you do not, you run the risk of ending up in a lawsuit. The job description also assists with training. So if you know you are hiring a customer service representative, for example, you know that there are certain areas that this new employee will require training. It also helps with the performance evaluation. If there are specific skills that the employee is supposed to be doing, you will want to make sure that these are measurable and that you are providing the training needed for the employees to meet those goals. It also assists you as a supervisor in understanding where the gaps are and where there needs to be focus or help so that employees can improve their performance. This week you will also be looking at, so this week I'm asking you to read information out of the textbook, watch this introductory video, and then I've provided you with a job description template. So review that, look it over, and and then you're being asked to prepare a job description. If you run into any questions, please let me know right away. But that is what you will be sharing on the discussion board this week, is that job description that you prepare. And once again, that will be due on Friday, so you'll want to get working on that as soon as possible. And then be sure and provide feedback to others on their job descriptions so you kind of look back and forth to see how they are laid out. Also, I've put a heads up out there. The heads up is that you will be working on, actually, there isn't a heads up out there, so I'm not going back to redo this entire presentation because of that. That's going to be next week where you're going to be interviewing an HR professional. But if you have any questions or concerns over any of the material or the learning activities, just let me know. Send me an email. You can leave me a voicemail message, but it seems like those aren't going through. They a lot of times end up in junk email. So regular email is the best, and I can give you a call if you want to discuss it. So there was only really one big question that came out of the exit ticket, and that was a couple of people were wondering how to select their groups. Basically, you will be self-selecting. So when we go into week 4, I have a video out there that shows you how to do this. You'll go in and you'll select the group that you want to be in. So once again, you can go back and listen to those flip grids. Those people. As people gave you information about why they would be really good team members. It's always good to have a strong team, especially in online classes and when you are working on a simulation. So that is all I have for this week. I hope you have a great rest of the week and that everything is going well for you.